Hi everyone. This show is going to be about cleaning yourself out with music, meditating with live music, not just frequencies and constant waves, but actual music. Um, how to play around with energy and removing pain or healings or organs, taking sores out, opening canals inside of you and feeling the energy by relaxing and entering this alpha state of mind, the alpha, 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 alpha. I'm slowly gonna try to drag you into alpha. I don't know if you see the at the end of alpha there the air, you can kind of see the air. That's when you enter the different frequency in your mind, a different mind state. There's alpha, beta, theta. I don't know them all. There's four. Most of the time we're in a beta mode where we function normally. Um, the alpha mode, if I remember correctly, is a slower or lower frequency than the beta, and you are in contact with different parts of your brain and have a different awareness of things and feel things differently, and all sorts of things can happen in alpha. And then there's the theta, or I can't remember the other one. This one is the dream state that some people actually manage to lucid dream, to be conscient within that frequency of mind state. So what's important would be to relax, to pick some music. I highly recommend non-commercial music and local music and emergent becoming bands, because they haven't gotten dirty by fame or success, or there's not as far away as me and you when they're starting off, and they're more in contact with the energies and whatever sequence, because everybody's interrelated, and people actually turn to each other in a certain order. And then there's going to be this last one that's going to be the alpha leader, which is playing in his mind with another alpha leader or a sigma, using the alpha to do stuff through his mind. The alpha actually thinks he did it on his own, and it was his idea to do that, but it was actually the other rooster, the other alpha male, playing around with his mind. That means most narcissists also have this ability within their ability to manipulate people by questioning, making them talk, and always making the discussion revolve around the other person's shit all the time, and always nosing around in problems and exploiting them a bit. Well, those people can actually they can actually tie you or put you on a leash sometimes by dominating you and entering your mind space and your intimacy, and you then get to feel your sexual chakra that acts kind of like a telephone or a link, a psychic link between persons that you feel, that tickles. It's a bit like a horny feeling. It's love, 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 love. You have to concentrate on your crouch. It's at the bottom of your crouch, the sexual chakra, and try to relax and to move around. Imagine your chin has a rod that pokes right between your anus and the base of your penis or your vagina. That little area where the space between is where the sexual chakra and the sexual erogenous areas are. Those are actually squatting areas for rats and well, actually rat people and pig and pork people and evil cows and people that when you feel their energy, they give you a need all the time because they position themselves on each side where you're what you play with when you're in need. And then they poke you in the nose or something, or they stress you out and electrify you and then get you and get the need going and the need, so they end up getting you to consume and to do stuff that they are deciding you're going to do by making you needing to do it. You can actually get rid of those people by speaking on those erogenous spots on each side or wherever your mind, whenever you speak normally, honestly and spontaneously, like John Doe. Well, you actually fix the dough inside of you. The dough is flour and water. It's kind of like spaghettis that cross your body that you can untwirl into these veils of a net that are all wrapped around and with some sort of a cellular grid that stretches, and then there's these rails where it folds inside. There's rails at where it folds. It's erogenous, and those melt down and give you a special taste in your mouth. That's the whiskey. The whiskey that falls is kind of energy impregnated with some sort of magic. It's, yeah, believe me, magic. So when you undo those balls or those roses, they'll give fascists and narcissists will give you roses. Roses have thorns. Roses are fuck ups, and some are deadly. Roses are kisses. Narcissists and cons kiss a lot, and that's why we call them girls, because you get kissed all the time by playing around with them. And it's always these things that appear in your mind, reflexes that keep you open when you shouldn't be, or reflexes that you drag everybody into your intimacy as soon as you see them. So they're always seeing you. You're always naked, or or you have this tendency to grab the attention of a girl that's walking with her boyfriend. So now you're getting a chance to get hit because you're dragging on girls that are with someone. Why do I do that? That's a fucking rose. Somebody was inside of you and taught you to do that. So whenever you go unconscious and on the automatic pilot, well, the rose kicks in, and you start doing this little movement that fucks everything up and gives you all these problems. You wonder where they're coming from, and the bad luck, pain, anxiety, whatever, lack of energy, always a constant need, stress. So music can help a lot to fix those things and to get in touch with your emotions, especially non-commercial music. Since the key moment of the revolution, when the pyramid switched upside down and the power went to the people, where you can see the Donald Trump on a pendulum, not fixed or nothing, and just nakedly standing there trying to look normal. His girlfriend gets called by the guy in front of him, and they're not even sharing the love together. They're all screwed up since the pyramid went upside down, since the book of God spilled down, when everybody was printing in those songs and the way they spoke on the pad right here. Right here is where you write when you speak. the truth with love, it keeps it written in the mind space. And so music also prints thing out and will protect you. Good music will protect you, will give you the proper words and the proper vocabulary to defend yourself and to be invulnerable to narcissists. If you just act normally and be yourself, you don't have to try anything. Music does the work for you. If you don't have music, well, it implanted zones for those people to play around in your mind that keeps them busy and that screws them up. Or actually, they're if you observe what narcissists, dominant narcissists do, they all turn out to be fascists and using fear and pain and to control you and to influence you into doing what they want you to do. And most of them are also trying to kill you, being your best friend. They're extremely nice people. They give a lot. They'll always be there for you. They're way all the time there for you, kind of thing. And they'll paint and do whatever you want and offer you smoke all the time because they love you. Yeah, they give you that. And they actually give you all these bad habits. And often they might just give you this little secret kiss that keeps you stuck with a boyfriend ashtray kind of thing or a girlfriend ashtray. That whenever you get off the automatic pilot, that's what you're staring at all the time. It plugs you onto this downward spiral, the curse, the roses. There's a rose des vents, the wind rose for directions. There's a rose des sables, that would be a Arabic rose from the desert. Then there's a Yankee rose. Those are also women sometimes, but when you touch the sexual chakra, that's when you get kissed. I spent a long time not touching, not playing with that because I'd always get these evil kisses, and some of them would screw my breathing up and down, and then it would hook me onto this negative source of energy where I'd be pumping out black and death. I was sucking in a black hole. And I felt death impregnating me and just crawling over me. And I had these little energy balls I could feel. And I'd have to rub them with the music, with violin and or guitar. Or sometimes I needed the the pick sound, the clickety-click, to hear the click-click or the tack-tack. When you relax a lot, you might find the itch point, but that it'll answer to the click. That's where it is at inside of you. Because they actually squat those tubes that I call U-tubes. And it's totally logical when you think of the bird language that I spoke a bit of in most of my videos, because they play around with the words. And it makes out this war language and this commercial language that kind of explains their plans or steal mantras that give good energy and a good feeling for you to want to say their product name more often. Because every word is a mantra and has an effect and it implicates elements, vibration, and everything. So every time you speak, you're tracing your destiny. So speak positive and listen if you want to have a proper tongue according to your convictions. Well, listen to music that fits with your mentality. Then what you got to do is, after a while, you got to feel the need to go into alpha. And then your need's going to take you into alpha, and you're going to go more and more relaxed. And then you just start kind of just moving around with the music and trying to get those vertebrae and just stretch and do the snake kind of thing and just start studying where the sore spots are. Try to twist it in places you don't normally twist. Your spinal cord, your spine then you find these. You'll find that it's like a tapestry. It's like this roll of net with rails of love inside of it, like a tarp with these ropes that hold them in. The ropes are erogenous, and those are tunnels. Those are U-tubes, because you know that I love you. I is the eye on the top of the pyramid. Well, when the eye was on the pyramid, now it's on the bottom, and the bottom is on top. But then it's a new red eye. But the I used to love you, and it's still a bit like that, because there's a part of you in the I lawful action that kind of gets rid of extreme evil with extreme evil, this kind of black and white divinity of heads or tails kind of karma related walk or die kind of choice, and fight fire with fire, fight evil with evil. A bit like they did with the cross, but the only mistake they did with the cross is they would present their religion with that in front, and they would present a cadaver on a stick. Isn't that intimating a bit? So anyways, I'm not here to speak about Christianity and religion. I'm here to speak about chakras and energy, and kisses, roses, and flowers, and all the whole 9 yards, and the curse, and the sacrilege, and the black magic, the white magic, all the different dimensions, the different elemental planes, the water, air, fire, earth around you, and the mercury going down into your mind, melting your brain, how those elements actually affect you, and the sulfur follows, and then you get the salt, the three basic elements. And if you move a bit, you might start feeling this cold sensation. And if you don't, orientate the music, concentrate, try to lower your frequency, lower your breath, go into alpha, and slowly let your eyes go. Let them go really loose, and the eyebrows, the jaw, let it just fall down with the tongue, and let your face completely poker face like, no emotion whatsoever, plain neutrality. Just let go everything, and then let your body move to the music that says Madonna. So, but it doesn't say move to the music. It says let your body move to the music. So by being all loosened up, and see how my eyes kind of gaze. I'm in alpha state of mind. I'm playing in the magic realm. I'm clairvoyant now. I would see what you want. It would flash I could also probably speak in your minds. They manage to speak in mine. I don't know. They actually have access to my phone all the time. I'm always naked. So you have to get used to being open, relaxed, tension-free, and open-minded, where your subconscious mind is printable, where you can give it instructions, and where you are aware of what it does for you that you don't normally notice. It and the unconscious mind. So you're going to have your conscious mind focused on the music and grabbing the music, and from your ears directing it to the button on your cap, and pretend and tell yourself that it's a rod drilling a hole down through your head, and let the music dig through that hard pasta where we put the mercury before. The mercury is going to get everything all melted down. And imagine you just tell yourself mercury, but tell it to as if you would speak on this. So kind of pretend your mouth comes out there while you say it. Or just think you're blasting this while you're saying it. Just think about it and say it. Think of the area and send the music there. It's hard to explain. You just concentrate on that area and kind of end up managing to put the music on the area where it kind of grinds. What I'll use is a grindcore is really grindful. It grinds because that energy, it goes up in the dough, the tape. It's like tape that twirls out, and then it kind of hardens a bit and makes these mushrooms with this turbine that turns cold in it at the bottom of the stomach. And if I breathe in, I get all this cold, fresh, too good of a taste, well-being, prana and chi and all. And I just don't know what to do with it. I got the whole wall down using music. The wall is here. It's keeping the way. When you hear way or wake up, breathe in immediately, forward and up to the top, up to the top of your rib of your chest, and up here where the V-neck would be. That's to tell you the V-neck is to tell you they have the way. Their way is open. The way is the cosmic energy we thrive to live upon. Without that energy, we are in need, and that's what they were doing with the wall. It was all the blue, the dependent people that would lock together, and they would actually be inside of people like me. They squat in people. They squat in the tubes. I love you means that the I, the good, the law, loves you, which is Satan and evil and murderers and organized crime and all that. The right hand. But it says, I love you. And then I was made for loving you. So that means yin love yang in some sort of way. And yin was made for loving yang. So what I was supposed to say with that, I was made for loving you. Yeah, anyways, you can, the eye is one of the chakras. You can blast music this way. I got all the chakras open. They're all, if I breathe in and focus on the area, I feel this air flowing through and coming into my stomach, but entering from the chakra, not from the mouth. You kind of feel it by breathing in. It gets all cold and it's tasting it. It feels so good, this prana. And that's why I had the psychic punk prana generator. And that I started to feel, that comes with when the dough is melting, when the tape or the caramel, sometimes it's these big worms. The evil people turn into worms that crawl up your YouTubes. Oh yeah, YouTubes. That's what so that's why I call those YouTubes, because the cons, the blue or the blue maggoty brats, the brat ones, because now we have good blue ones. Since the pyramid turned upside down, we fixed the blue, because nothing gets lost, nothing gets created, everything transforms. So we don't have to kill nobody. But some of them still keep on trying to kill good people. And they're the fascists and Nazis and right-wing people that never disappeared after the Second World War. And those people are the roses. They give roses. If you confront them, they'll step into your mind and plop a few balls up in your mind, and you're going to be biting your tongue and having a diarrhea the rest of your life. And waking up tired because this voice tells you that you're sleepy right when the alarm sounds every morning. Fuck ups like that, or every time you fall asleep, at the same moment you fall asleep, you get a spasm, and you wake up kind of an urge with a spasm. But it does that like 3, 4, 5 times every time you just fell asleep. So then you can't sleep for the rest of the night. You're all stressed out, thinking you're going to spasm again and when it's going to happen. And like little screw-ups like that, those are roses. Those are kisses or balls. Bala, bala, bala. Balls, songs will give you balls that you can throw down the tunnel in your spine once you feel the energy. The balls will shit down to hell where they try to kill you, and it'll kill them. Or take care of them, or give them a lesson to get better and to be allowed to do wrong the right way. Because you can do evil, but the right way. Because love and hate have to balance the yin, the yang, and then the entity, the neutrality, the triad. Well, man and woman, it's always a plus minus. It has to balance. There's half hate, half love in my voice pitch right now. So I could hate and just hate and hate and hate. Hate kind of just, I hate. It's this vibration. It gets into you, bites you. The strident, piercing tone of voice and the vibration. It's aggressing and I'm trying to put more music. So all those frequencies, and on that tape, that energy, music made me feel that for the first time. And that's when I noticed that because music is kind of on the front, because whoever controls the microphone controls the ears and what goes into the mind. And they have keywords. Everybody has keywords that TV and music and society put into their brains, or that they answered to because they were part of their values, or something they were worried about or lying about. Those will show and will open your mind up, giving out or giving away your subconscious. So that you have to be very careful when you do not do that. If you don't know how to work that area with a narcissistic pig, if you don't have a nice black scarf and a black coat on, because he's gonna fuck up your mind, and you're gonna get, you walk, or we're walking in this kind of tunnel that's kind of in a big intestine and with a magic membrane that appears, but you also have this. Sky's the limit. There's no limit anymore. I don't have this spaghetti that's crawling into my mind no more. I have this kind of fountain just dribbling down water on the top that I can, when I play around with my mind, it kind of just, there's this medusa that's going slowly and turning cold, and the crown's chakras letting all the good prana in. Well, those areas and the wall I took away with music. The way that you take the way, you have to breathe in. The way, wake up. The people go, yeah, but they don't breathe it in. They don't take their energy, their beer, their whiskey, their rum, their cigarette, all those things that you can take and consume that are addictive or bad for you. Well, when the king was a Burger King and an Italian Pope running the show, they decided that we were too much on the planet, that we had to get killed. And the new social game they created, the fascist game, was a self-destructing mutilation where people, when you see with your glasses, you realize what you need to realize is that most people have blinders and are sleeping. They're sleeping. Whenever they fall open, they immediately move or speak and shut right up. They are maintained as betas. They are vulnerable to alpha suggestion and subliminal messages and frequencies. And then somebody that's straightforward, honest, and spontaneous, like John or Jesus, well, he kind of connects to you and goes to you through your garbage can and your mind. And Johnny ends up finding those keywords. That's why they always keep John from speaking and why he's always isolated. The good Samaritan, the good Che Guevara, kind of neutral, good soul, the good guy, the good Homer. They're eating cookies and donuts, and they're all alone, and nothing works for them. There's this curse on the good people. So I kind of got that curse and tons of roses and weird things happen to me. You start eating and your food turns rotten, and you hallucinate rot and smell it when it's brand new, and then you just can't eat. And then they get you drinking, and they see where, because when you look at something properly and focus on it long enough to actually make it psychic contact with the object, we have this love in our eyes in what we look at that identifies our needs and what we want. So if we want something, if we need something, our peripheral vision is going to spot it, and our unconscious mind is going to direct us that way until we are staring at it. What was I saying? Yeah, subconscious and unconscious. So when you're in alpha, you kind of see what the movement that you don't control that starts on its own. Let it go. That is going to find love, and try to blast. If it doesn't work up here in the energy areas with the music, blast it on your sex. Focus that the music is hitting your perineal area and inside the vagina. And there's even some people that hide in the anus, in the anal G point, that you can hook a wire and play in your anus until you find there it is. You pretend there's a wire hook. That's once you feel the energy in the G spots. And then the rats on each side, those are people that when they move, they give you this need. And you notice that your hand pops up and you have a drag whenever you're not aware. Whenever that person contracts a muscle, you smoke or drink at the same time. That's what provokes the movement. So to break that dynamic, you can use music to dig through those tunnels and untwist, following the love. The trick is to follow love. It'll erase all flowers and balls and fuck ups. And when you get mad, you bite your tongue. Whenever you're I got that fuck up since somebody good is taking care of me, or maybe he's evil, but he's keeping me from saying evil or stuff like that. Because when you're since the pyramid turned upside down, my speech and when I write here, it actually prints down on a lot of people's mind. They put us marginals on top because our mentality, and we were the ones with the best mentality and plans for the future kind of thing, and we were getting neglected the most. And then there's a punk that needed more spirituality and blah blah blah. So I got the don't listen to TV kind of culture where they would say smash your television, because television uses those keywords that open your mind, and and then while you're open, they'll drop all these words either in a good or a bad tone. If it's left on love, you're gonna love that word and that thing the next day. If it's printed on the love feeling, and if it's said with hate, well, that will disappear from your vocabulary, and you won't even want or think about that word anymore, because it's gonna represent hate. So you won't want that feeling. So your mind gets rid of that word. Music, news, people that talk, master of ceremonies, whoever has a mic, whoever is right here, that means he's over you. And he's right. When he's right, that's because he's printing on principles in people's mind, and he's changing the world when you're right here, when you're right. When you're on a non-automatic pilot and you end up looking at the keyboard or a pencil, that means you're right. You should talk a lot, and you're probably somebody that people will keep silent because of the effect and of the mantras you say and your position in the hierarchy, the new hierarchy. I'm a kind of a toxic speedway kind of freak. I had trouble a long time with chemical drugs, and they would exclude us because of that, and always come up with these same fucking words that would remind you to do some more, and that would kind of allow them to cut your tongue off and keep you from speaking and take your cards away. So you'd always be, trying to keep up and not really just playing guitar. You're not allowed to trying to catch up. So it's good to speak a lot and to take the speech. And you might be cursed into staying shy and lacking confidence in front of people. You have to overcome that curse and that feeling. It doesn't come from you necessarily. It might be and can be somebody else's fear that's been imprinted into your mind from sharing with that person, a kid you grew up with or something like that. Or the good people will often fall onto a narcissist that from the low age is going to befriend them and drag them into death the rest of their life and attract toxic personalities with roses and kisses of their own and her friend circle, eliminating good influence and family, getting an evil family back into intimacy and changing the whole surrounding of the people that's all toxic. So it goes depression. It's a D system. It's a maze. And in the maze, you meet all these people that are all playing this game, this role-playing game. And it's world domination, and it's the Nazis and fascists are highly in advance, and they have lots of TVs and Hollywood, and the Americans are taken out of space, but fascism is almost done taking over the world, and now the right-wing governments are almost everywhere. Some are extreme right-wing countries fell from interior infiltration and influence, and from fucking the fuck button, the love, the sex chakra, by printing words on there, they mutate, they become somebody else that loves what you gave them to love when you're above them. And then, well, the trick is to speak with love. So that love is the love is what you're trying to follow when your body moves to the music. So try to get the music loud enough, and maybe something aggressive like grindcore that will really grab you, and it moves your body. When you fall into alpha and open your mind and say, yes, print me, yes, I want to, just say yes, open me up, say it to yourself, and open my mind up, and then stay numb and out of focus and feel where the vibrations take you. And there's multiple things in this state that you can see appear, which is your third eye will open. And when it is open, you're clairvoyant. That means that when you connect to people, you actually look at what they're thinking about, thinking that you're just looking at something and nothing, that you're not paying attention, but you're actually looking exactly at what she is thinking about every once in a while, and vice versa. Whoever becomes it is seen, is naked, and is printable. I was it all my life. So they printed as much evil as good into me. I'm black and white. I'm the black and white king. I'm the Christ. I did the cross, the stations of the cross, and everybody were porks, and Cersei transformed my crew into pigs and took away the lions and my friends. I'm alone now, and all that. That was the curse of the Che, and they even got the Versa Che ecstasy out. Versa is versus Che, so that so we had this plan they had to prepare for us, and maybe from being in that position all the time, that gives you the position of being the chief or one of the two chiefs. If you look at the hospital emblemas of the two snakes fighting over the staff, of medicine. Well, that used to be Don 1 and 2, 1 and 2 fighting over, or 2 and 3 fighting over 1 kind of thing. Because 1 is always good, is the Christ. It would be 2 and 3. But maybe they managed to become 1 for a certain while. They managed to lock it down for a long time. It was since the Egyptians, it's a pyramid. That means there's one guy dictating on the whole 9 yards down below. That's right here. He's the only one. And then the other levels, right, the one on the one below. But what the magic of that is if whatever you say spontaneously and with love, it's gonna filter out just the truth and the right mantras in the right order and compose truth, virtue, and reality like the book of God that spread out on the world when they opened my mind on July 12th, 2019. That was the second time I put a hole in the wall. The first time was with Justin Power, when they would say, we'll take care of that for you. And when I end up somewhere on the top, I got sick of it. I said, Justin Power will take care of that for you. And I started reading that on the lips of people that would talk to me. And then the 4 U's would come back, and then I really want to fuck you would appear too. But I actually managed to print I was one of the 3 on the triangle on top. That was Justin Power. So you just have to believe you can come out of this cage. The only thing you're allowed to believe, that you should believe, is that you can get out of this matrix. That there is a way out, and that you belong to the universe. That would be something logic and provable. You can't prove nothing contrary that we come from the universe, because there's nothing greater than the universe. We haven't seen, as in of now, anything greater, and we can't see the other end of it either. Maybe it's this donut with 2 black holes, or a white and a black hole, but it's huge. And as of now, we didn't really find an end to it. So that's the only thing you should believe, because when the B leaves, the I believes, the B of the I is good and loyalty, and the white side of law and of the government. And then when they can't take care of you, then there's the evil side that will pop in with their right wing, and for the king is gonna keep you in the right order, in the right direction, on a dictature of virtue. They're gonna dictate to evil people. And that's when they print on your tape, on the dough, this caramel that flows inside, that makes tubes, and makes these veils with this horny love feeling. It's like it's been all crunched up, and it makes these little wires. I call those rails, like the rail when they ride the rail on a skateboard or a rollerblade. There's rails like that you can kind of split them, and then when you slice them right in the middle, you get this whiskey in your mouth, and it kind of melts down and then stretches into this net of some cellular membrane, a magic net that wraps all around, and that I can't get untwisted. And then I have this wire that's all twisted up, and it hurts when I look this way. I got it better from twisting and letting my body move to the music, because the music knows which movement you have to make in order to fix whatever you're trying to fix, whatever fuck up you're trying to fix, whatever bad habit you're trying to fix, or whatever need you're trying to change. Because when you want to change needs, you go on the table where your rib cage is at 0, and you go open mind. The first thing you look at and inhale to, you're going to take a picture of, and is that whenever you'll feel the need, that's what you're going to need. And on that's where you put, by looking at it, you put the love in your eyes to it, that hooked a chain on it. Bad elements that lay around in front of you are called chains. Those are psychic chains or memory links that tells your body what movement to do to be satisfied, because that's what you wanted. It records what you wanted and what you need. So if you go numb and the music takes you to the ashtray, well, that's because the last time you were on the table, you or because nicotine is getting low and you actually need cigarettes, so you'd probably be staring at the pack of smokes. But if you would have been wise, after that smoke, you would have went back down on the table and grab a swig of juice or water and do the action while you're at ground zero, where the rib cage is at zero, and you exhale, do the right thing, and next time you're gonna need the right thing. But that's all on the tape. That's along your spine. But you're gonna have to move and get those muscles loose, and kind of snake. You're gonna feel these crumbs, and it's gonna start crunching, and that's all that energy that's twirled and knotted out, and it does this knot movement every time it passes this thing that restarts that, and those roses are really hard to get out. You kind of have to always be at the source, but the source changes place depending on where you're at. And if you skip one, you go back to the beginning all the time of those trails, and sometimes they don't block up. Those are kind of trails where sometimes they kind of take you for a ride in the trail, or they fuck up your nostril to reminding you to snort all the time, and pressing on your knee and tickling your nostril. That's one I can't get out yet. So those fuck ups are when your tongue scrapes the top of your mouth, and it's movement. You're always getting your tongue hurt at the same spot all the time. Every time you do this action, your tongue hurts and slices itself on the same fucking tooth all the time at the exact same spot. That's a rose. That's a fuck up. That's a ball. Or the one that puts your jaw loose and the side. At the same moment, you'd be getting a punch. It's synchronized to slack off right when the punch hits to break your jaw. Or your neck goes like that at the same time to break your neck. There's weird fuck ups like that. Or attracting married women. Or you attract junkies when you're confronting authority that could stab you with a dirty needle. They actually get closer because you're yanking on them to get closer without noticing. We are connected. You can move people. They have puppets on top. You can grab the string and just, when you're alpha at least, and just move it. You just pretend you're leaning your cheek on the side of their head and just shove it aside. You're gonna feel this resistance, as if you lean on something. If you kind of let your body move instead of moving your body, say, I gotta make it there, take me there. So it's gonna move and not you gonna move. So when it moves, it leans on this love. So you just put your chin down a bit. You see the alpha up here? Ding, ding, ding. I'm pressing on your doorbell. Answer, wake up, realize. Okay, so that's when you get to realize, when your third eye is open. You see where the chains are hooked, what they're hooked to, and you can grab the chain and put it somewhere else in order to change your addiction or what you need. So that's one thing you can do with energy, and the music will make the objects, once your third eye is open, the objects are going to flash at every drum or every guitar strum. One of the sounds in the music is going to tell you which object is it. Because narcissists, beware of their gifts. They're accursed. They're keepsakes. It keeps aches. They can put illness. They could put a downward spiral that leads to powder, wallet, coat, and lighter, and spoon and vein kind of sequence that you always fucking stare at your veins and white powder. That's another fuck up they give you when you're a good fellow or a marginal. So to get those away, you get the drum or the snare or some sort of click, click, click. Go real numb. Focus on inside your body and the objects around you, leaving your eyes really numb, out of focus, or barely just kissing the love. Just kind of just embracing, just not to contract them on your own, to have your music contract them. And then you'll start noticing that one of the objects is going to start attracting your and moving your body is going to start to go in that direction on its own. You won't decide to move your body is going to take you there. So if it takes you to something evil, well, you got to take that chain by pressing love into it and letting go, and then having the music take you back and kind of follow the love. It's gonna, this tube's gonna, the warm tube's gonna run out, and it's kind of make it to the tip of the worm, and you gotta twist it the other side without contracting muscles on your own, on letting the music do. Because if you contract, he sees you, and he can then make you move a bad movement. You're gonna go, whoop! Oh, that's him that just moved. He made you move. You got off track. So the music tells you where you're at, because whenever you skip, you have to restart. The whole sequence restarts, and you can ask yourself, where does it start? Or music will tell you with the click click or the snare. So that it'll be either an object they gave you, or they just looked at. They'll look at objects and they'll make a sequence of objects that are zigzagging and all over before you make it to their privacy. So you can't kiss them and you can't talk to their mind, because they're closed and they have this tail of objects that are all, and objects are actually the spirit of some of their friends. So the object is going to pass with another object your love. And so you kind of have to let your body move toward the object that's attracting your attention, and it's going to automatically just surf kind of in the middle, and you're going to notice this kind of a loop effect, in a ball of energy appear in the middle of a triangle by looking there, this way, this way, this way, this way, and then it kind of ends up going smaller and smaller and smaller until you find where it hurts, or where love is, or where it's crunchy that you have to untwist the rail to get the whiskey out. So it meets all up in here, the neck, because I have a tie that locks my neck that keeps from people from going inside. I kiss them with my eyes. I want them to touch my privacy because I want to kiss them. So that energy feels like caramel or spaghetti. That's what the spaghetti church, the Pastafarians, mean. Well, maybe it's because of them. Maybe the energy became feelable like that since they verbalized it. Or maybe it came from the Italian king, that whenever he would speak on the pyramid, we would get fed all this spaghetti, or this energy that's in spaghettis that goes from here to your butt. And then you can kind of, those are like millions and millions of little strings that you can take one by one. And then there's hard ones and ones that hurt that you have to follow to fuck the pain away. So you have to rub it on the sex chakra while it hurts, for it not to hurt the next time you go into that trail. And people will hide pain, so you're automatically going to avoid the pain and not fall into their trail, to their YouTube. Because I love you, and their yous. Yous, like, ooh, like a wolf is you. They took popular words and made evil out of them. Like when you're at war, they take love and what's nice away and they turn it into evil. Like he, she, it. She, the French turned she into she, it means shit. That's war. They're making fun of their words, turning them into shit. I fucking bit my tongue. I hate that fucking ball. So yeah, so from moving around, then stop and then let your body move to the music. It's either going to be on every guitar strum or every distortion. That folk works nice. I rather grindcore and metal because it's heavier. It's more dense music, not dance but dense. So it grabs you a lot easier. You don't have to be too focused for it to grab and twirl and play around with your muscles and your. See, now I'm not taking my head nowhere. My head is kind of placing itself on its balance point, and it's actually following love. This love feeling that's in these kind of rail tendons that keep folding back up and they're always there. I can't get rid of them. But one of them is sore. I have to follow the pain to the other end, and it goes all over your back, and then you end up in these folds where the other YouTubers crawl up. There are horny feelings or little horny crumbs that are really hard to. You have to rub the violin on them, or the banjo, the ting, 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 ting. The tin sound, it will tick right at the top of the little needle point of the crumb because it's tiny. Sometimes it's a butterfly or a fly. You have to make it love flies or for it to go open and for you to make it on top of the drop and twist it and melt it down by resisting and going against the grain and then turning blue. And then when you turn blue, that's when you contract your muscles and keep them contracted. They actually lose their breath when you contract and turn blue like that. When you resist. The red don't resist. The red are on the automatic pilot and just go from the spot to spot and never resist. The blue will do the opposite and always resist because they're more evil oriented. And they don't like authority, so they'll always do the opposite. So when you're on top of them, whether they like it or not, you can print on their energy tape that flows through you, and that'll just fall into them as food, as spaghetti food. That's the whole point of the spaghetti sifter on your head, is to get just the water and let the pasta out. So you let your body move to the music. Just pay real attention. If it doesn't look like it wants to move, focus on your eyesight, and then without moving your eyes, on what's on your peripheral vision, and see where your attention takes you first. That would be the first object of the sequence. That would be it. And that is an object a narcissist put a spirit in that acting an evil way for you. That's probably, when you look at that, it probably takes you to your lighter kind of thing. Afterward, it's programmed to take you to the lighter. There's these magical rays that direct your eyes. Your unconscious will cap those and follow them if you don't pay attention. So it takes your unconscious mind to the lighter. So it gives you you want to start jonesing for a smoke because of that haunted object that bumps you to those. Because that wasn't what you wanted in the first place. What you wanted, that object was attracting you, and it was made to make you smoke. That's how they kill you, with bad habits and magical objects and sequences. And then all the corners are haunted, the walls, the ceiling, everything, windows, doors, all objects. Sometimes it's all sounds. Whenever you hear a sound, you have to grab the drop of love behind the sound because it gets the thing to restart and they got to get back up into the attic. And when they're on top, they control your mind. They give you orders, and if you don't hear them, you obey them without even knowing you've been given an order. And you just do what they want you to do without complaining because you think that's what you were supposed to do. But they're actually commanding you. Like a puppet. So once your body starts moving, you'll notice that it follows this horniness in your crouch at the same time. Even if it's up here, you can feel it down here at the same time. And you tell yourself, follow the love. Tell it to yourself. You can program your subconscious and your body to act the way you want it to act by speaking to yourself. Say, take the rat out and then go for a walk. Well, your body is going to flush the rat out while you're walking because you told him to do. Subconscious mind obeys. So when you melt down those balls, it gives whiskey. And it's from rubbing music onto them. and then they kind of crawl off, and then they start going all, trying not to want to let you go on top, and you're twisting like this. And sometimes you see the cat's twisting too. You're connected to the fucking cat. It's always gonna do this when you do that, and you just can't take it out. You have to play in the cat for those with music, with nets in your eyes, and you have to go inside and let your body move to the music of the love that's nailed in the inside of it, and then kind of stretch it out. It kind of stretches like tape that you stretch, or those antennas. The tape kind of does that, and then the tubes are folded. And then you can blast music up here downwards. There's this thick crust. It's like a a knight armor. Concentrate music right here, and don't be afraid of your heart. They cannot, even if they can control your breath, they can give you the simulation of a heart attack, but trust me, they cannot verbally get your heart to stop. If your heart is in shape, it's going to give you adrenaline or something, and you're just going to be afraid of it stopping. Even if the voice is telling you to kill yourself, you won't kill yourself with a screw going up your heart. It'll simulate these heart attacks, but it doesn't affect you. You just have to blast music, drill music into it until you hit cold, and a revolving, you'll hit the chakra. And then when I'm in the chakra, it's like a flying saucer that you can go inside of, and there's this membrane, a hole like this, so you can kind of go inside, and in the middle there's a shaft that twirls and gives this cold energy, the chi or the prana, or what we call beer. When they drink beer, when they show they're drinking beer on the Facebook profile, if they're good people, that means that they're breathing in energy when they see the beer appear. When their attention is taken to the beer, there's an inhale of energy behind the beer. So you don't actually drink the beer, you take the energy, you stay in shape. But the evil people think you're actually drinking, and it makes them drink and kill themselves. So you don't tell them that there's energy behind the beer because they're trying to kill you. So you let them kill themselves, unless if you can't mutate them. But they say that everything is transformable. They managed to make 1 million Nazis, so why can't you make 1 million anti-Nazis? By commanding the virtue and reason into their mind on their tape. So let your body move to the music, stretch all those knots and those crunched, twirled up, dried up energy. You have to all uncrunch them, and you'll get the beer and the whiskey in the rail. And it kind of tastes like metal on the side of your tongue. And so you clean all those out, and then imagine there's wires from your chin that lead to where you're trying to work. It goes all the way down your legs. You can end up with two horny spots under your feet. Those are usually the two shovels, the two evil people on each side of me. Because whenever I'd lean on to love, I'd be leaning on my shovel on two persons that are trying to kill me. But I'm used to them. They tried to kill me all my life. They are my best friends. So well, they were my best friends until I noticed that I'm still leaning on something that makes my knees appear when I lean on it. Knees, well, you need when with people that have knees, they give you needs when they tie you up on a leash. Either with your anus that you're sick of feeling, so you start trying to avoid. So she's actually controlling what you're looking at by touching your anus or not. So when she sees that you're gonna look at another girl, she just bumps your anus so you look the other way. So they can keep you on a death track like that. Don't ever even if it's just the asshole trying to keep you away from the sex. No, you have to fuck the sex. That's it. That's what the bad habits and the stuff you gotta work on. And that's the object you should take out of the eyesight because the chains are on it. That object. That and that and that. That. Bad spirits in them. The others are okay, if there are any okay. Objects have spirit, especially gifts. Don't take gifts from dealers. because it'll keep you on a downward spiral. And if you buy weed from a dealer, there's a worm that comes with it that keeps you wanting to smoke pot more often than you would, to keep you from buying some. That leads to fucking white crumbs and speed. That's the trick of the black market. There's a string and chains attached to what they give you. That's why in Canada, when you go to the government to get the weed, you don't have those strings attached at all. It's health that's attached to it because it's medicinal. So you can dig holes. There's these kind of fingers that crawl and all meet up at the cap, and that's all twirled up on this dome. And then sometimes it appears, sometimes it's a fountain, and sometimes it's just a crown and free energy in the universe. And then sometimes you can create tension, and or play around with, I don't know what's in the middle of the triangle, but imagine your problem is in the middle of a triangle. It's all going to stretch out the ball for you. See, something's starting to appear. And then you'll see that crumb. I feel this crumb. Something had just appeared in the tension from the movement. And then you put the music on that crumb. It's going to blow out. And this drapery of love that's got 10,000 times bigger than the little crumb that was going around in the YouTubes. That's the person. And when you rub it enough with a violin or something, it blows up and makes this humongous tape that just twirls away. And then you can kind of click the tubes away. And when you let go a fraction of a second and move fast, kind of go open real fast. And you can throw those things away. And then people get the loose jaw and bad kisses if they're evil when you do that. So you can print things you want to love on the tape. It's all the dope. So use mercury on the top of your cap pin on your unicorn to melt the energy and move around to feel it and let your body move to the music. Use heavy metal. Epica is good. It's an epic metal, or Arc Enemy, Lacuna Coil. Gogol Bordello is more gypsy punk, but they have an accordion and violin to rub out those little tiny spots. Because when you get to the end of the race with that rat, it's just a little crumb that barely, it kind of hides, and you got to finish them off. That's when you rub it with an accordion or a long stretch sound like the violin. And just scrape it down. So you scrape the music, you can dig holes all over here. I took the whole wall down, drilling it with music, concentrating music. The music is drilling this out. It's opening up. Open up my heart. It just opens up. And then I can breathe in from that. That's the chi that comes up right where your heart is. So you breathe in, you get all this cool energy. Then close the heart back up. It closes up. You can command your body. You say predator on the horny feeling on the top of the antenna. You're going to turn into a predator that follows the pole. It's like a pole dancing, those rats. There's people around the tubes. It's pole dancers, they call. It's in your back when you're the father of the assembly or the show, the concert, or the whatever, or the chief. Well, you get them on your pants and all over your back. Good people are squats. The cons squat inside. The rats and pigs squat inside of me. I'm living hell. Hell is in here. From here to there. That's hell. I'm Satan. And I'm Jesus. So whoever thinks they're satanists are obeying a good God that took Satan. They've been turning Satan into good for decades. And they decided that the scapegoat would be Satan also. So you can't do anything no more with Satan. So have fun with music. Folk will print the proper words. The music will give you a key set. Epica gives you a nice key set to to give it to the right person you want to open your mind with, and to keep your mind closed. They'll dress you up. They'll give you a black coat, a black hat, or what you deserve, or what you want. Every time I saw people getting kissed since July, the evil ones got bad omens and bad things, and then all the rest got what they wanted to have. And Madonna wanted to be a queen, well, and a goddess. Well, there she is. She is a queen and a goddess. She's in that world now. She's happy. So the world thinking I'm the one and two in Christ and God too. I'm in this world where I believe that I can change humanity by cleaning up their hair and cleaning up the dough and the whatever, taking all the rats and the horny stuff that keep you dependent out of your body, and working hard with that. And since I believe, it becomes. You don't believe, become. When the bee leaves, when the bee leaves, you get stuck with the string. The string, if you run it through your cheek or something, it's really thin when the bee leaves. But when the bee comes, it starts wrapping love around tape around the wire. So the wire is not naked, and it prints something out with love. Thus, that becomes. So become, don't believe. Only thing you should believe is that you're a celestial being coming from the universe, and that the universe is your origin, and that you're eternal. Print that on your tape. Tell it to yourself and believe it. You won't die and disappear when you die. If you die. They had elves live for 600 years, but they had the wall going. They kept us away from vital energy, making us drink cappuccino instead of energy. When you say cappuccino, it's 3 mantras: caput and no, with chi in the middle. So you say break the chi, no. So you close your chi entrance and you need something because you're lacking energy. The word of the product puts you in need. So you see, open the chi. So it's going to open right back up. Your stomach's going to move. You got a turban in here. Your breath is going to go up, down, and change. Let the music control your breath. Let it drag you down. Try to make it to the floor. Or at least the table. Do something right on the table. And then just melt the fuck out of it. Fuck the sex out of the tape. There's one side of the tape is horny, the other one is normal. It gives energy, positive, negative. So you follow the horny one and just horny it out and fuck it out until it melts out and gives beer and you don't feel it no more. That's how you get rid of roses and bad reflexes. You just position yourself. Think of what you're thinking at when that happens, and at that moment, let go. And let your body fix the movement that's been fucked with. It's going to do the opposite thing, and it's going to not do that whatever it did the next time, because you stop that when you're thinking about doing that. At that moment, that's where the trigger is. You have to find where the trigger is, think about that moment, and let go. And then the music will correct it for you if there's something wrong. So it could be that you'll never feel anything because there's absolutely no bad surprises inside of you. But governments give you leaves and flowers and coats and this and that and Canada geese and whatever. So and the TV gave you implanted a whole bunch of keywords in your mind, and that's how they program you with a program. On TV, and it's a casting, and they cast, and they learn how to spell at school, and it's Hollywood, it's a holly stick, it's a wand. So you wonder, she became one, or you wanded her, you gave her the wand, the bird language again. So yeah, so I think I covered pretty much the letting go thing and playing around with music. Then when you make it into a mushroom, you write in those, and they make balls, and you can send them, or you can do a movement and record the movement and send it. And then when the person gets it, she's gonna take that pose if you touch the sex. That's how we get the hands to do this and that on their own. To people that don't do that usually, they're all on their Facebook. Well, it's with the tape and the printing down on the perennial and forcing movements and poses and recording that state, and then throw it so the person's gonna fall in that state because you're gonna feel that emotion. It was the contract muscles. I kind of can lay back. It's kind of printed in the dough. Whatever you do, and then you have to move your vertebrae, and you actually can rotate clockwise and send all the balls down by going like this. But a lot of it you have to do. A lot of it you have to do slowly, and it barely moves. And if you have a narcissistic pervert, he can tell you not to listen to the music or not to move, and you always stay motionless because he's dictating up there. So sometimes you have to kind of wiggle your first few shots out, and then the guitar will grab you, and you'll notice that you're floating on the guitar or floating on this in the background, or there's this note somewhere you're following with the top of your antenna that you love. That's how they program you, with love. They make you fall in love with a frequency that has good or bad things on it in music. Bad music will make you fall in love with smokes and beer on the good frequency. And whatever's good for you is going to be set on the bad frequency. So you stop liking what's good for you. They're trying to kill us. So there's all this horny sexual chakra magic that you can do. Control muscles, create illusions, get ancestors to come back, friends to pop into other people. The people that are going to start talking with their voice, the same way they talk. And they'll get that from your head, and it's all printed somewhere. And if they're receptive, the person becomes like the person you said, oh, you're that person. And he's going to become that person. And actually talk like you. And after a few fuck-ups, he's going to find a way that he's going to stumble exactly the same way and play some word ding, 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 like your friend does. You see, I swear I heard my friend speak. So you can invoke, you can get the dead back, you can play with shadows, with light, you can put energy on whatever source you want, you can put stress on an object you want, you can put a sequence in objects that repeats itself whenever you just see it in your peripheral vision. You can constipate someone, you can starve someone. I never have appetite. I never feel like eating because I'm a marginal. They want me to starve and kill myself. So that's pretty much it. Beware of roses and hearts. And you'll be giving flowers now because you just made yourself a beautiful black scarf, because I'm a little crazy. Scarves say for crazy people. It's foulard. Fou is crazy in French. And or black shirt. So you might be. I hope you have lots of friends, because it's kind of isolating to be a king or chief. They kind of Christ you out and hang you by ignoring and laughing at you and taking pictures. But you have to be resilient, and you just grab all the rats and clean them up meditating on twisting on letting your body move to the music, and then you get all these strings that are kind of horny or once in a while, so you end up bending your head in the right way to always feel the love, and then you just work it all the way back down till it melts. And sometimes it yanks out here. That's when they screw this hard energy into your heart. You kind of have to let go and untwist the energy that's crawling up, because they twirl into this pointy things, and it actually pokes like a needle your heart, and it searches for with the heartbeat, where the nerve gives the signal to the heartbeat. They're trying to make it exactly at that spot and to short it, but you can't. It's plugged. There's no space in between. It's the music or whatever. You can't put your finger between it. So even and there's a pointy end. How do you want to get a pointy thing on a pointy thing? They can't stop your heart with a screw. When you feel the screwdriver driving the screws, you just direct it that way, and it'll go right through, and no more heart problems. I have a nail in my heart, so I don't know what these the kind of twirls here and makes this cape, and I have this long weird tentacle like hair, and that's all the energy, the dough. So I hope you feel it. Go to alpha, relax and meditate, lower your frequency, and try to notice what instrument or what sound carries your body away without having you to do it for it. The music will grab you, especially if you have bad balls or roses inside of your mind that are harmful or something like that, or deadly. Some of those things are cancer giving or virus giving. They give illness, because illnesses come from evil speaking that word and from assembling mantras that are destructive or viral, and then saying them on the drop, on the love, something like that will make you go into attract that thing. So by attracting a bad mantra, you will evoke and become impregnated with bad energy and bad results. And what the bad mantra does, illness. So be careful what you speak. Don't ever speak about illness and accidents and stuff like that. You're going to create an accident of your own for yourself. Don't intimidate people. Just command them if they're pricks. If you'll be on top of them after this, just give them an order. Say, obey the brave. Valor favors, whatever. I can't remember how they say. So I hope this all works out for you, and that you find that dough and that energy inside of you, and that you manage to clean your head and comb your hair properly. So also, yeah, and folk is good for the language, the local language. It'll protect you and give you the right words to say to protect you against manipulative narcissists and fascists. So uncommercial music, metal, some punk rock, but there's been lots of Nazis that infiltrated the punk rock. And then there's folk and folk punk. But lots of music speak to you and show you stuff. But the commercial music keeps you wanting luxury and to be better than your neighbor, and to compare yourself with material and for superficial values and sex and whatever. They're not showing you emotions and your chakras and how to balance your energies and to be in tune with yourself and to find happiness inside your body and within yourself, and to find your own way and your own energy, to dig your own space in this universe, your own dome and bubble, your house, your home, and then the collective space you created, and the collective God and entity that collective mind space gave birth to. We create gods. If we don't believe in those gods, they just evaporate. But by having a common interest and common values, we create a common power, a divine power that we can call divine, because it's on top of us. It's beyond what we can do, but we can become that too if we decide to become God. We can command like God if we're worthy and won't fuck everything up by doing so. Or it just won't be realizable if it's evil or undoable, unrealistic, or so. Yeah, we pretend you're God when you have a good idea and command it to the rest of humanity, and then clean out your house for all the squatters. They won't bug you if they have a house, and you don't actually feel them. Just don't let them up past the head, so they can't give you smoking envies and commanding and changing your interests, so they can't control the chains. And pay attention, hide all those objects that relate to dependence or needs. Take those away from your eyesight. Those are chains that will hook your memory to that routine that you can't get out of. But play around with objects, clean up, change the sequences, touch every object and verbalize something, impregnate them with your chi and your love. That's mine, that's mine. Looking at everything, every object that's been giving you trouble. That's how you reprogram that. Well, you see, that's that friend, that's the police, that's that band. That when you mix the whole band into one person, that person will be the energy of the whole band. You can so you can place them in, or when you buy stuff with bands, they're already in the objects. It's a good present. So T-shirts and logos and stickers, and then the stovetop spirals are for resistance, and some of our singers, that's those portals. Beware of the tags, the marker tags, black markers. Those are downward spiral portals. It's an evil town. It'll take you to the evil part of town where you're going to get screwed. There's all these portals, and we're talking about that in another show. So I hope you find your energy and then you have a good time cleaning up. Please leave comments if you have any questions. And don't forget to subscribe to Psychic Punk Prana Generator on YouTube.